terrible Ted and I are off to a job to change out an outlet today. So he figured he'd go with me, so took the top down for him. It's 43 degrees, but we got the heat cranked up, and Ted's inside the windshield anyway, so you really don't care, do you, buddy? Yeah. So Ted and I are going to change out a plug today. This is actually a change out of a change out. I had just changed out the power plug with a replacement plug that the friend of ours had, and they got it from a local hardware store, and it's really not something that I would use. So we're going back today, and we're going to replace it with one that I would use. See that? Since we've been driving, the temperature actually went up. Things are looking up, Ted. Now, I am not a licensed electrician, so anything Okay, get back up there. I am not a licensed electrician, so anything you see in here is simply homeowner advice. If you are a licensed electrician and I'm doing something wrong, hey, feel free to put that down in the comment section. Always like to hear it, always like to kind of stay up to code. We can use these plugs in the United States. I don't know what happens in other countries. Maybe you can't use them there. I can see I'm not going to get through this. And before anybody asks, Ted is not a licensed electrician either. Alright, so to show you what I was talking about, this right here, there's no connection to the strain relief to the body of this. So as you can see, I can turn this. And it was a spin around eventually. Those wires will come right out of there. And if you're lucky, they don't arc together and burn your house down. Alright, so this is the reason why I don't like these. You can see this little divot here that's holding the wire in. That's the only strain relief you have. So it's pulling against the wires, and the screw head itself is too small to actually go around the wire. So no matter how tight you twist these things, when you put the wire in, eventually it pushes itself back out again. So it's really not a great terminal type. And you can see the ground's even worse. Like I said, that's twisted as tight as I could get them, and then they just kind of unraveled as I squished the screw down, because they don't fit inside of a trough or anything. So that's just not really great. So the only thing that's holding this thing in here is just these little cutouts. All right, so yeah, you can see the setup here. Not great at all. And the only thing that holds it in is just that one screw on the side, which goes right through here. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So you can see I got these screwed in there. That one's probably a hair long, but it's in there tight, so it's not going anywhere. But this here will basically, that'll yank that cord right out of the ground. These really secure everything pretty well. So now I'll just slide this up and tighten these little fellas. All right, Ted. Good job, buddy. Hey, Ted. 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 Yeah. The dude cannot be distracted. He's going to pay attention to what we're doing. Oh, you looked. All right. I'll show you the mark of a good plug. First of all, this one's got a little rubber grip ring around it, which is an interesting little detail. It doesn't really matter that much, but if it's cold and wet, it's easier to grab that for sure. We've got 3 screws that are holding this end piece in, and then for your strain relief rather, you got 2 screws that go straight in through there, and it squishes down into your wire nice and solid. So if I pull this thing apart, if you look inside, whoops, so this rubber piece here also acts as a cup that goes around, and then that will go around your cord. So what ends up happening is it gives you a water, well, I won't say watertight seal, but a water resistant seal. And it also keeps out all sorts of little bugs that might get in the back of the plugs, things like that. So when we look at this, so when you undo these screws, you can see that gap in between there. That's where you put your wires in. And when you tighten it up, this squishes right down solid. So it's instead of the other style where you have to wrap the wire around, and then if the wire doesn't completely get underneath the edge, and if it's not tight in, it can still come off. So this is just way nicer. Leviton makes some really good plugs, but that's basically the difference between a nice high quality plug and a piece of garbage that'll probably burn your house down. All right, Ted, we made it. Another solid work day for the Yorkie. Alrighty. Neutral. Whoops, wrong button. You ready? No, that's the wrong button. Top on. Yeah, that's the right button. And that is that.